The last one we have is squats. And everybody hears squats. And what do we think? Oh, I see Andrew's eyes.
Time to get the power bars out.
Now here's the thing. How many of us sit in a chair? How many of us sit in a chair during the day? Yep, right? How many of us sit in a chair during the day? Everybody sits down at some point, right? We all sit down in a chair. Do we all stand up from the chair? So we all do squats every single day. This is a squat right here. That's a squat. That's a squat. Every time we sit down, we use our quadriceps to slow ourselves down. We don't just, sometimes at the end of the day we like to fall onto the couch, but that's a different thing. We're going to be a little more controlled, but we make ourselves a nice slow descent to the chair. Now we have to stand up. So what do? We do the top part of a squat. So one good adaptation for squats is called a chair squat. It makes it really easy to do in your home. It makes it safe, even if you don't have somebody around. Get a chair. I like to say get something like the sink. So then you have the sink there that you can hold on to, so you can just practice lowering, standing back up, lowering yourself down, standing back up. At some point, you won't need the sink, or you won't need the chair. Now, Scott can show you some adaptations on squats that don't involve the chair for more advanced, for people that are below the knee amputees.
So I will say this too, if you're above the knee amputee and you're not comfortable going that far, that range of motion is a lot different, and you're just going even this far, okay? Right. You're working you're identifying, again, remember, we want to start out by thinking about what we're doing, and the idea is identify the muscle groups, and it's those extensors here, and we're flexing, and if you're pushing, and then so what is the goal we measure our accomplishments against? Ourselves. Remember, we want to try to say, are we getting better? And if you feel you're going down a little bit further, maybe the following week, all of a sudden, we're breaking into new territory, gaining confidence because we're doing something that we couldn't do a week ago. So one of the biggest things when it comes to squats, if you're below the knee amputee like myself, and you could picture that I had a socket there. If I just go down, like, we're used to squatting in high school, right? And you got the bars here. What happens when we go down? I don't have an ankle, so we're up on the toe. I'm pressing on the front wall of the socket down here. I'm digging into the back wall here. This is all very uncomfortable. It's very unsafe because I don't have good balance. I don't have good balance because my foot's not flat on the floor. So by simply turning our feet out like this, look at how this is. So if you're below the knee, try standing like this, kind of like a plie position.
Now, exaggeratedly wide bases.
Now when I go down, my residual limb is straight up and down inside of the socket. I've got no forces working against me, and my foot's still flat on the ground, okay? So I always tell people, adapting how we can do certain exercise. What have we done since we've lost our legs? We've adapted. So we try... and we're always taking feedback. Chris was just showing me a way that he was doing the monster walk exercises. We're always looking for feedback too. So anyway, to go into the chair here, or maybe a more advanced, if you want to get to the point where we're doing really good and you just have like a ball, like a little weighted ball or something, but you come down. But you can see the big thing is my feet are nice and flat on the floor, and I'm getting a good squat going here.
So, a key to a good squat is driving through your heels. So what Scott's doing is he's putting the prosthesis in a position where instead of rising up on the toe, he's able to drive through the heel of the prosthesis.
Okay. Any questions?
So what we're going to do is we're going to say anybody that wants to try that, especially with the chair, we don't want you to do that in the rolling chairs. So if we can just have you come over here, we would appreciate it. We don't think the rolling chairs are safe for squats. Does anybody want to give it a shot? All right. This is something that everybody can do. Everybody can do this.
Have I ever showed you how to do the squats with your feet turned out like that? Okay. I want you to try that then and tell me try it normal first.
Yeah, that looked good.
Yeah. Back up a little bit more though so your butt will go right on the chair. How does that feel? Yeah. the pressure on your limb, though, but when you feel... Yeah. And get it to a spot where you're comfortable. Because, we've all melt down, right? And we know that uncomfortable feeling when our, okay.
Yeah, but some of it's a range of motion thing too. I mean, getting all the way down to the chair level in your squat, like Scott said, it might be too far. So I mean, if just coming down this far, if you can feel that in the muscles that you're supposed to be using, you're still getting stronger. You're still building the right muscles. It's not about pushing, down past 90 or doing anything like that. We're not trying to make bodybuilders. We're trying to make you stronger for everyday activities. What kind of things are squats good for? We've talked a lot about stairs. I mean, squats, those are the same muscles that we use to climb up stairs. We talked about getting in and out of chairs all day long, same muscles.
Yep. Yeah, I tell people, like Nate was mentioning earlier, going from sitting to stand, when you tell people we're doing exercises, they say, well, I don't do squats. Well, do you think it's reasonable to assume that you might go from a sitting to a standing position 30 times a day? Well, that would be one. Start. But I mean, so if you weigh 150 pounds, like me, and you are squatting or going from sit to stand 30 times a day, you're squatting 150 pounds 30 times. You got to think our leg muscles, our quadriceps, they're the biggest muscles in our body for a reason. I mean, every time you transfer your weight to either leg and you're in full weight bearing, you're carrying that, 230 pounds all on one leg, and that's supporting us. And how we fire those muscles, like we were talking about, we're relying. So that 7%, 8% of muscle atrophy during that inactivity period, it's huge. That's the biggest deficit that we're trying to overcome. So, and we kind of have things broken down, but when we say that whole first year, the strength training and balance, that's really the first key to getting the second year is more reacting to your environment, and then things start to become more natural and we're not thinking about it, but we can't get there if we don't develop that strength and balance along the way.